Americans seem to have an issue with owning small cars, so recommending yes, I said recommending a car such as this one means that you, and I'm speaking to Americans here, that you might have to question your sanity. So, will you lose your soul if you go with the soul? Couldn't help that pun there. Now let's start at the back. Here we see the backup camera, which has decent resolution and contrast both day and night. The hatch handle is neither too low or too high. The hatch itself is very light and easy to open. Taking advantage of the expansive greenhouse, the designers endowed the car with a great use of space in the trunk. 18.8 cubic feet, or about 2 upright carry-ons side by side. There's a nice thick parcel shelf up top. Lift the load floor and you have 3 partition cubbies. And I'm glad it's foam, so stored items won't thump around while you're in motion, like they would if the cubby was made of molded plastic. So smart thinking, Kia. Take those out, and you increase the trunk capacity to 24.2 cubic feet. There's no spare under there, even though there's space for one. Over on the right, there's a disc-shaped storage for a small frisbee, or a pack of paper plates for your tailgate parties. But I'm sure that's where the subwoofer goes in higher trims. On the inside, the dash has gone through a couple of refreshes and is not that bad of a place to be. Even though the general interior build quality is average, I find myself liking it actually. Hands down, one of my favorite design elements in the car are the tower tweeters. They give the impression as if they are rising up and do look like more expensive items from top-end cars. We have a decent steering wheel apparatus here, nothing too fancy, no pretense of being sporty with those tiny or flat-bottom wheels. Now the steering wheel controls are there where they need to be. Of interest though is located below the right radial buttons, a button labeled Drive. Pressing this cycles through 3 mode drives, namely Standard, Eco, and Sport. The default is Standard, which has lazy shifting and elastic throttle response. Eco is even worse. Sport is somewhat better than both and should be enabled by default, but isn't. Everything resets to Standard each time you start the car. Yeah, I know, right? Between the legibly sensible analog gauges is the center info screen. It's bare basics, mind you, which is more than enough really. As I said earlier, the interior build quality is average. It's put together well and didn't have rattles or squeaks in my rental. The front space is filled with a mix of soft touch and hard plastics at crucial touch points, which tells you that this is a previous gen Kia at work here. Nowadays, they're smarter at laying things out. Moving over to the light switch real quick, I'd like to point out that plus trims and above get auto on off. One of my pet peeves is wiper speed in many modern cars, or the lack thereof. The Soul is one of those cars where the max speed, like you see here, won't serve you well in downpours or sudden puddle splashes from oncoming traffic. I think it would be just right if it was maybe 1/3 faster. As it stands, however, this Kia fails my test. Since we're in the mid-range plus trim, you are limited to the lowly single-zone climate control. How plebeian and middle class. Anyway, it's nice to see that this car has both physical and on-screen controls for the climate unit. I hate it when manufacturers go all screen with very few redundant physical controls, because let's face it, the screen will eventually fail. Physical dials and buttons, well, not so much. At the base of the center dash are your charging and connector ports for your devices. If you look closely though, one of the 12-volt outlets is rated at 120 watts, while the other is a more standard 180. Couldn't they have just made them both 180? The gearbox on the Soul is a 6-speed, by the way. The shifter is okay looking and has manual shift detents for shifting in sport mode. One cool quirk that the car allows you to do is to start the car in 2nd gear, convenient for low traction situations. Further back are the cup holders, and past that is a well-padded armrest. This opens up to a squarish storage bin large enough for your chapstick and candy wrappers, but not wide enough to store a tablet or a large purse, for example. The door cards are interesting and well built, but don't have the best materials and possesses one of the smallest armrests my elbow has ever had the opportunity to meet. But on the opposite side of that spectrum, the glove box is one of the biggest I've ever seen in any car. Video and pictures can't convey the size and depth of this thing. Your pertinent insurance card and registration might get lost in this cavern, so you have been warned. The seats front and back are firm. I give it maybe a 2.5 in the comfort department. There's plenty of adjustment, minus lumbar adjustment in the manual seats. Bear in mind that this fabric color combo will stain easily. In the rear passenger compartment, the upright sitting position lends to plenty of knee space behind the front seats. It doesn't just feel roomy back here, it is roomy. Now, when you do drop the seats for a run to the recycle yard, you'll find that you have up to 61.3 cubic feet of space to play with. That's bloody impressive and trumps many SUVs, for crying out loud. Your two outer passengers in the rear also have access to a large armrest with two cup holders. Not bad at all. Here's a quirk I noticed, although this could just be a genuine Soul thing. Look here at the interior lighting buttons. One says door and the other one says room. So apparently the designers had aspirations for the interior space of the car to be used as your room. By the way, the driver door controls have auto up down for fronts only, and door storage is big enough for a small umbrella and water bottle maybe. Oh, I have to talk about the OBD port and the fuse panel, or rather what's inside. Check this out, the top is lined with felt. For whatever reason, Kia decided to cover this area like this, and in the process made me smile and wonder, when was the last time I saw this in a car at this price range? It is a truly nice little touch that almost no one would ever care or notice. Let's talk Android Auto a second. Now, I use Android, so I didn't get to test the Apple CarPlay piece of this. The implementation in the Soul is good overall. The back-end processing power isn't there to give it buttery smoothness as you swipe and navigate between screens though. And I don't think it's Android Auto itself, because even Kia's Uvo wasn't as fluid as I like it. It's very inconsistent. Okay, this is where I'm gonna get on my soapbox. And I'm sure you're gonna agree with me on this. Now, we are all immersed in a world of fast phones where even mid-range chipsets run smoothly, which, if you compare it to this car, really stands in stark contrast because it has a slower interface and it's stuttery and it performs very inconsistently. It should stand as a reminder that our in-car tech is already old at launch and will be ancient by the end of your ownership. So while the tech is a nice to have, I hate that you can't upgrade it. But I digress. In the Kia, all functions work as advertised, but I did notice a considerable UI slowdown when your cell signal drops drastically and you're trying to initiate Google Assistant. And finally, let's talk about Kia's Uvo, or is it Uvo? Uvo, you tell me down below in the comments how it's pronounced. But anyway, Kia's Uvo is one of the better car OSs out there, but the UI needs a serious refresh. It looks so dated. I like to add that in order for you to access some of the other cool Uvo functions, Kia requires you to create an account on the Uvo site or the app first. Other car makers have similar features, but once you're registered, Uvo is one of the easiest in terms of accessing these functions. For example, if your teen is driving this car out on a date, it's late, and you want to discourage them from partying in the back seat, if you know what I mean, you can set curfew alerts. It's not in your face, but the driver is alerted on screen, and so would your Uvo app at specific intervals. You can also set the speed limit at which your teen uses the car in case you want to. Now, what would suck is if your teen realizes that they're past curfew and they try to drive home quickly, but the car locks them out at 50 miles per hour. Talk about the drive of shame as they pull up to your house. Well, those were my thoughts on the 2018 Kia Soul, and I hope you liked it. Now, if you choose to buy this car, you won't firstly lose your soul because it's a good car at the end of the day that doesn't look like a turd or an appliance. And B, you won't need to sell your soul because this car is affordable. $20,000 roughly out the door for the Plus trim and $23,000 for the exclamation mark trim. And I think that's a really good value for money. If you want to wait for the 2019 model, which is the refresh and is based off the Hyundai Kona, wait for that. But when that does come out, this car is gonna be they're gonna try to get rid of this off the lot, so it's gonna be even a better buy. So you get a lot for your money. So I give this car a 3.5 out of 5. In the subcompact slash hatchback slash semi-crossover category, I don't even know where the Soul belongs, in what category. It's such a niche car, and that's the beauty of it. It has character. So say what you want to say about the ads, like the hamsters and all that, but it's like a Mini or a Volkswagen. It has a character, and the fact that Kia has kept that same formula for the 2019 model speaks volumes. So seriously consider this on the top of your list if you're looking for a car that's small economical. It runs like 35 miles per gallon. And if you get the dual clutch trim, it runs higher a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 more miles per gallon. It's pretty good. They have an electric model. 2019, I can't wait for that electric model is gonna be. Well, Kia, I'm waiting for you to send me a car to test it, so that will be something cool to test out eventually. But seriously, put this on your shopping list. Well, there you have it, guys. That's all I got today. Remember to kindly subscribe to this channel. Click the button down below. Click the bell notification to get notified if you haven't already. If you look at the numbers below, we're slowly creeping up to 1,000, and it's slowly getting there. And I might do a giveaway at some point to thank you guys for your support, and I'll announce that at a later time. But in the meantime, remember to tell your friends, your family, your lifeguard, your favorite burger flipper about this channel and spread the word, okay? I appreciate it. And thumbs up if you don't mind. Thumbs up if you like this video. And thumbs down. Thumbs down. It's going to be a simple one today, but it's Christmas, so we're going to talk about Christmas a little bit. Thumbs down if you like wrapping presents. I don't like wrapping presents. I don't know why you have to insist wrapping presents. Why don't you just stick it in the gift bag and tissue paper and be done with it? Put a label on it, and we're all good. Stick it under the Christmas tree over there. Thumbs down to you if you like wrapping presents. And that's all I got. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate y'all. And if I don't see y'all by Christmas, I will be traveling for a few weeks out and about to see family. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope you all have a great 2019 and be safe. God bless, and do something good for the homeless and the poor. Give some food, pay it forward. Do something nice for somebody. In the meantime, peace out.